up and running. I'm going to jump in and get this done. A little frustrated, but we'll see what we can get accomplished here. Maybe. Test 1, 2, 3. Check my sound settings. Make sure they're good to go. They look good. All right, come back over here. Let's keep that going. Jump over to YouTube really quick. All right. Do a Theology Central, if I can. Here we go. Turn off the live chat. We'll get started here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, maybe we can get this done. If I can find this. All right, here we go. All right, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to get started because I need to finish this. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, we go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central podcast, making theology central.
Sometimes an episode goes okay. Sometimes they don't. I guess that's one of the problems with human beings doing podcasting, right? As human beings, sometimes we're very good at communicating what we want to get across. We do so in an engaging, interesting way. We put it together. Our thoughts are, coherent. They make sense. They're logical. We maybe say something in a really good way that really gets people's attention. And then sometimes you do a podcast and nothing really goes very well, right? You don't feel like you presented your idea in a very good way. You don't think you communicated it very well. You didn't really say anything that profound. In fact, by the time it's over, you feel like the entire episode was a waste. And so that last episode I just did, I feel like it was a complete waste, but it's one of those situations where it was a part 1, so I need to do a part 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the microphone and get the part 2 done. So it's not kind of lingering and, lingering there and, kind of hanging over my head. I just want to get it done. I apologize. The part 1 wasn't very good. I can't promise you much from part 2. I guess it does demonstrate something, right? Human beings, well, we don't always do things in a perfect way. So I guess maybe we'll use that in this discussion. But are you ready? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and say good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, March the 4th, 2026. It is currently 12:20 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from the Theology Central studio, located right here in Abilene, Texas. And it's Texas now. It's March the 4th. We're fast approaching the anniversary of the fall of the Alamo. I think that's March the 6th. And so March the 2nd is Texas Independence Day. March the 6th is when the Alamo fell and everyone was killed. So yeah, we could talk some Texas history. I'm always up for that. But Texas Independence Day is over. The fall of the Alamo is in the future. Most of you don't care about any of that because you went to schools that did not teach you true history, and the only true history is history that occurred in Texas, right? Okay, all right, nobody cares about any of that. All right, enough of the joking aside. So here's what happened. I was sitting here today. I'm just going to put everything back together quickly so that you know exactly where we are for those who did not hear part 1. And I knew the other broadcast I needed to do. I really did. I know I need to do some more discussion about the doctrine of hell. We need to move forward in Matthew chapter 5. I need to go back to 1 Samuel 16 to talk about God giving an evil spirit to Saul. We definitely need to do more discussion about that. We need to get back to our series on systematic theology. There's so much we need to do. I mean, I still have the Taylor Swift album lingering over my head that we haven't finished doing all of the reviews of all the songs. I still need to get back to that. Don't think I have forgotten. So I know there's so much I'm behind on. I haven't broadcast in a few days. So I know what I need to do, but I always get distracted when I sit here at this table because I looked over. I don't even know how I ended up on the website. I see an article entitled, "Can You Rely on AI for Theology?" Can you rely on AI for theology? And if you've been listening to me for any length of time, you know what I said out loud. I said, well, I can rely on AI better than I can rely on humans. 2,000 years of church history, humans can't agree on anything. We have so many different systems of theology. They all contradict one another. They compete with one another. Why should I trust humans who, by the Bible's own teaching, humans have a heart that is deceptive above all things? Humans are depraved sinners. Humans have very flawed motives in what we do. And considering that humans can't agree and appear on one verse in the Bible, I don't know if I can rely on humans to do theology. But for some weird reason, Christians don't have a problem with that. It's like, yeah, you can rely on humans. You just rely on the humans you agree with and disregard any of the humans you disagree with. I guess that's how we're supposed to do things. So immediately I knew, oh boy, this is a Christian website. They're asking if I can rely on AI for theology. And I bet you that in some way, shape, or form, they're going to at the very least imply, no, don't trust AI, but you can trust humans that agree with us, all right? So we started reviewing it in part one. We made it, I don't know, we only got about 24 minutes left. I'm not going to go back and cover everything, but basically they create kind of this almost like a fear, emotional-based argument. Well, before they make an argument, they create an emotional vibe that AI is uncertain, that there's a lot we don't know. Basically, be a little bit concerned, paranoid, or suspicious of AI. Then they had this experiment where they gave AI 7 questions, and they gave 7 questions to 7 different AI platforms. And they were shocked that not all of the AI platforms gave the exact same kind of answer. They felt some were more theologically sound according to their theology. Others they did not like them and gave them a low grade. And my major issue with it is just how they approached AI. They approached AI as like a question answer machine. And I hate when people approach AI that way. It's not just a fancy Google search. AI is your research assistant. It assists you. It's your research assistant. And the way you should approach it, and it will give you assistance, but it's your research assistant. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I get this right. And you should treat it as an assistant. And the way it works is, the benefit that comes from AI is your ongoing back and forth, your back and forth dialogue. And what about this? And what about this? And okay, well, what about from this perspective? Well, now let's look at it from this perspective. Well, hey, I don't want you just to agree with me. Push back, analyze, critique, and you go back and forth, back and forth. And that's where you get somewhere. If you just ask it as, hey, here's a question. Well, you're not giving it any parameters. So it's just going to pull from all of the information out there and give you something. Well, guess what? If you start asking it theological questions, you realize what it's pulling from. It's pulling from 2,000 years of humans contradicting and arguing with each other. So it's going to just combine something and give it to you. If you want more specifics, you're going to have to ask follow-up questions and engage in some kind of dialogue or give it a framework from which you want it to answer. They didn't give it a framework and then criticized it for not answering it according to the framework they really wanted the answer to fit, which makes no sense. Hey, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm not going to give you any framework, but let me tell you something. Unless you answer it the way I want you to, your answer is wrong. Well, that's ridiculous, okay? So I don't like their approach. So for the most part, I felt like in part one, we did everything we needed to do, right? We didn't get anywhere. We didn't accomplish anything. To me, I just feel like it's kind of like I've been talking about this for now well over a year. So it's like, why did I even do the episode? I was so irritated. I was probably, in fact, I even pulled up and hit, I even had the cursor over the delete button. I almost deleted it. But I'm like, that was over an hour worth. That was 2 hours of work putting it all together. And I'm like, I'm not going. I'm like, well, okay. But then I'm like, I don't want to do part 2. And I'm like, well, you know what? I've already done part one. I'm stuck. So here I am. I'm going to do part two. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't care to do part two. I don't want to do part two. If you don't even listen to it, I can understand because part one was trash. But I guess what I can demonstrate is it just shows you human beings, right? As human beings, we mess up. We say things incorrect. We get our information wrong. And so whatever criticism you make towards AI, you should know human beings, how fallible and how much we mess up. And sometimes we can't even produce a podcast episode worth keeping. It was more worth deleting, but here I've got to finish it. So I want to wrap this up so I can be done with this today. And I'm going to be irritated with myself because now I'm going to spend over 4 hours of my morning doing this. And then guess what? I'm going to feel like the rest of the day. You didn't get that episode done. You didn't get that episode done. You didn't get that episode done because you are an idiot. All right. So I know I'm an idiot, but here we are. This idiot has got to finish reviewing this very frustrating discussion about AI. And if AI was doing it, it would be better and it would be more efficient. Okay. So I think AI just needs to take over all podcasting responsibilities. And as humans, we should just give up everything. Okay. All right. Here I am. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to try to do my best. Let's see what basically where we are in this podcast episode, he's basically what the individual doing the talking here. There's like a narrator. And so, yeah, you'll figure out how it all works. But basically this individual in the podcast, he's confused that for some weird reason, AI has all the same information, but it gives different answers in regards to some of these theological questions. I don't know why he's confused by that because AI is pulling from all of the contradictory data that human beings have produced because we can't agree on anything. I would be more concerned with the fact that pastors and churches and Christians all use the same Bible, but we can't come up to the same conclusion. But for some weird reason, there's the same criticism given to AI is never flipped around and given to human beings, and I will never understand that. But okay, here we go.
By the end of the experiment, Mike had more questions than he'd had at the beginning.
That really is the crazy maker. If it's all the same technology, and it's all been trained on the same data sets, and it's all running on the same silicon, why are we getting answer choices where some of the answer choices are going to leave you in the faith and other answer choices are going to lead you completely outside the faith?
I don't know why he's so confused by that, because all the data that's out there, some of that data may lead you into Christianity, some of that data may lead you outside of Christianity. You didn't tell which data you wanted AI to pull from. So it's pulling from a pool of data that contradicts itself. Because that's what human beings have done with religion and theology. We don't agree on anything. So what is AI supposed to do? Oh, no. You're only supposed to give me the information that leads me into Christianity. Well, why didn't you tell me that, you dumb human? If you want me to give you Christian answers, tell me to give you Christian answers. Don't get mad at me if I don't give you answers that are not in line with your theology. You didn't tell me to do that. You told me to pull from all of the data. Well, the data is contradictory because you humans can't seem to agree on anything. Now I feel like I'm defending AI. It's just, I don't understand what's so complicated. And it's got the sinister music in the background, like, ooh, something bad's happening. Stop with the drama. Stop with the paranoia. And it makes perfect sense why the information would be contradictory. I've had AI do that before. I've had AI give me an answer, and then later on it seems to give me a different answer. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why you gave me this and you gave me this? And AI will say, well, some within Christianity says this, some within Christianity says this. So I was pulling from this. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. And then we'll start discussing, trying to figure out what to do. But see, that requires a long conversation with AI. But here it's just like, well, you didn't give me the answer I wanted. Well, what do you expect it to do? You're dealing with theological questions where there are no agreements. You didn't say only answer these questions as they align and are in agreement with the Nicene Creed, which seems to be the criterion which they're judging them. They're not even judging them based off Scripture. They're judging them off the basis of the Nicene Creed.
It's clear that there is more human involvement in this process than probably what there should be.
See, now his conclusion is different answers is because there's more human involvement than there should be. Well, there is going to be human involvement because it's pulling from data that comes from human beings. And when it comes to theological issues, humans don't agree. So what do you want AI to do? Oh, I don't understand why everything's got to be so sinister and everything is like a conspiratorial plot. Ooh, humans are touching it. Ooh, be careful. Don't use AI because humans could be influencing the information that you're given. Well, then why am I listening to you? Because you're a human being trying to influence my decision and my thinking. Every book written by a human, every sermon preached by a human, every commentary written by a human. Who has biases, who has agenda, who has motivation, and who has a dedication to a certain worldview. But somehow AI, oh, no, we have humans involved. We have humans involved in everything humans are involved in. So then why do we do anything that humans are involved in, since I can't trust humans, since they are the most deceptive people on the planet? But humans can be involved in AI. They're involved in everything. I don't understand. Hey, a human wrote that commentary, and remember how this episode began? It began with them selling Bible study guides and a commentary written by humans. But I guess human involvement with the Bible study guide and human involvement with those commentaries is okay, but human involvement with AI, well, it shouldn't be as involved as it is. Well, then why do you sell information? You have an entire website where you publish articles written by humans who have presuppositions and are dedicated to a specific worldview. And so I don't get it.
Let me pause here for a sincere thank you to this episode's sponsor, Dordt University. When I walked into this Reformed Christian college 25 years ago, I was asking all kinds of big questions. What am I good at? What is my purpose? How should my faith affect my field? Over the next 4 years, I wrestled a lot of those out in late-night conversations with my friends, and that was important. But even more valuable were the conversations I was having with my teachers. My Dordt professors knew me, identified my talents, and challenged me to think hard about how I could best serve others and advance the renewal of all things. They didn't answer my questions by guessing the next most likely word in a sentence. They did it with a deep knowledge of and love for their subject area, for me, and for Reformed